Instagram has borrowed, been inspired by features before, right? Stories came from Snapchat, Reels came from TikTok. These have always been additions to the Instagram app. This is, I think, unique because this is a brand new, like you said, sister app. This is a full brand new app, and that could, I think, heavily knock Twitter out in terms of people looking for a new platform to be taking on. I think the existing user base who like it will stay with it, but I don't see many people being like, I'm gonna start a Twitter account tomorrow when they have Threads, especially if they're already active and prominent on Instagram.
How will you be using Threads compared to Instagram from now on? Is there going to be a difference in how you're going to be using it, Lucas?
I think that's super important, not to just make your Threads account a reshare of all your Reels, of all your posts that you've made, right? So I've been having a lot of fun posting memes. I've been having which is something I wouldn't really do beyond my stories here on Instagram. I've been having a lot of fun putting out ideas, testing out things like quick relevant news updates. And I know that on the Threads app, Threads account, I suggest following it if anybody's not. It's the official account by Instagram, I guess. They just posted earlier today that in the pipeline, something they're working on very soon is trending topics like they have on Twitter. Go figure. Surprise, surprise. But that's something that I can see being really relevant and interesting to be able to see these, like, Twitter's probably the platform where things happen fastest on social media. Right? You look at like the lifespan of a TikTok video, the lifespan of an Instagram post, the lifespan of a tweet. It's minutes long, if that. But I think that's an advantage that it has that Threads will, in my opinion, be looking to model. So I'll be looking at it for quick, relevant, on-the-fly information that I can talk about, that I can share, but also that I can receive as well. Whereas on Instagram, I didn't feel like I ever had that speed to be able to put ideas out there quickly and have conversations quickly.
So for me, I'm thinking of it a little bit differently in terms of like my Instagram. I think I'm known for mostly like growth tips and how to use Instagram for your business. But I'm actually using Threads a little bit differently in terms of like sharing things that I don't ever share on Instagram. So behind the scenes stuff, food stuff, Mexico City stuff. I'm also doing like jokes. Apparently I have some humor. I can be funny. I don't have a strategy yet. I'm just having fun with it and seeing what feels good for me, because as someone who's like an empath, highly sensitive, like just like highly functioning nervous system, it's a lot bringing another app into my ecosystem. And I'm already like, I don't know about you guys watching, but I'm already feeling like, oh God, I have to check Threads now. Like, what if I don't post? Like, and so I don't really want to get into that space. And I know like my community is not about that. So for me, it's going to be about finding a sustainable way to post on there, still have an impact, still help my community, but make sure that like my mental health is okay.
Mental health is very important. I think that's something that we have to start considering when we start adding on a lot of these apps.
I don't have a set strategy yet, but that being said, I really love what Kar just mentioned about like how using it in a way that you need to use it right now, because it is a big hype, and so everyone's like, oh, I'm on there 24/7. And the first like day and a half I was on there, like, oh my God, like consuming everything. And then I didn't open it all weekend because I was like, I can't consume another thing, even though it's simple, quick, like just like TikTok when that first came out, or when Reels first came out, it was easy, right? But then being somebody who works with social media and content all the time, like I get overwhelmed really easily. I mean, if you are a personal friend or family member of mine, you know I'm not responding right away because I get like my phone. I can't be on it, right? So for personal stuff, I don't really use my phone. So I personally feel like I'm going to just kind of play around for now. I think the biggest focus for me is to be more intentional with my engagement out to people, like actually being in the conversation. Whereas like on Instagram, you know, when you grow your platform to a certain, you know, a number of followers and that community continues to expand, it gets really hard to stay involved in the comment section in a real way. Like thanks, oh, great post.
Yeah.
It's not as easy to have conversation on Instagram, so I'm going to be focusing on adding to conversations of other people's and really just connecting in a different way with my people.
I relate to something that Kar and Lucas has stated, and that's pretty much, I found myself being funny on Threads. I've been posting more memes I have in the past year on threads. And the funny thing is people have been reposting or rethreading these posts, and it's been really catching on. I've been getting new followers from that, from just simply sharing more memes and GIFs, which I think is a great little strategy. But as well as it's just something that I enjoy doing. And I found myself definitely using it differently than Instagram. It's a little bit more light, especially with the conversations going on right now. I don't feel like I have to put out something business related or kind of make it a little bit fancy and polished. That's you say for Instagram. And I think I'm just going to be a little bit more lighthearted. As you guys stated, I don't have a strategy myself. I am taking notes. Maybe in a month or two, I'll be like, okay, I'm ready to start being actually strategic with what I'm putting out there. But for right now, we're just all having fun, enjoying a few things that are not on threads just yet, but we know that they are coming. Trolls, bots. To some degree, it has to come because they do have to open it up. But right now, Instagram has put a lock on themselves. I think they did that purposely to avoid a lot of the headache that Twitter has had, even though they've already amassed about a quarter of Twitter's following in a week, which is really incredible.
Quarter?
Well, let me tell you right now.
Sorry, I don't know Twitter numbers. I'm like, whoa.
350 million in 2023. They've decreased by 3.9% from last year, and they will decrease again another 5.4 in 2004. So they're going to hit 335 million next year.
Fascinating.
Threads just reached over 100 million in under a week. Which
okay, the revenue projections sound accurate then. I was like, wait a minute, what? How many billions?
So that's the perfect segue. Let me ask you guys this last question. It's the elephant in the room. Should Twitter be concerned, especially after I just shared that information? Megan, what do you think Twitter is feeling right now? Should it be a little bit concerned?
I definitely think they should be. I mean, people who use Meta's products like Meta's products, and people who crush it on Twitter, I think, are still going to, hold on to that because they have that foundation. They love that platform, but I think Twitter should be concerned.
Oh man, I just think like it's so good to keep people on their toes, and I think that this is how innovation gets bred, is when there is actual competition and like other people coming up and challenging like the king. So I love that this is a challenge, and I really hope it forces Elon Musk to like look inward and realize that people are not happy, and he needs to really like, take the sink out of Twitter, put it back in, whatever the hell he's doing. But actually like listen to his community and make it what it used to be, because I think that there's room for both platforms, and I think that we kind of need both platforms. If you think about democracy and the way news is spread and fake news and how there's access to information, I think more platforms is a good thing. So, but they should be a little bit concerned.
I think, like we kind of said, I think Twitter does have its very dedicated users who are probably quite anti-Instagram in general. And I think that community will continue to make Twitter their place. And who knows, maybe it'll make Twitter actually an even better environment for those individuals to stay on Twitter and really get the platform they want. In terms of, though, social media needing millions of people to use it, I think that'll be actually a huge loss for Twitter. The interesting thing I kind of think about in this situation is Instagram has borrowed, been inspired by features before, right? Stories came from Snapchat, Reels came from TikTok, but these have always been additions to the Instagram app. This is, I think, unique because this is a brand new, like you said, sister app being introduced. I didn't even think about what you pointed out. It's a great point that it's currently limited to its users based on who has an Instagram account. So that's interesting. I didn't think about that. But this is a full brand new app, and that could, I think, heavily knock Twitter out in terms of people looking for a new platform to be taking on. I think the existing user base who like it will stay with it, but I don't see many people being like, I'm gonna start a Twitter account tomorrow when they have threads, especially if they're already active and prominent on Instagram too.
I think you guys all were really great points. Will Elon Musk be willing enough to make changes that he is forced to? I think that's really a good question that we will see over the next few weeks and months. I don't know, especially after they've mentioned that now there's a lawsuit, that a cease and desist, I should say. There's a cease and desist in regards to similarities and some of the other stuff that they're claiming. I don't know it. I don't speak lawyer, but I think it's interesting where Threads is now only after 5 days and what the potential could be. If there's now over 100 million 5 days? Where could they be within 2 weeks? I think that's a little bit fascinating and scary at the same time. And I say scary because Lucas put out a post, Squirtle, I think it was, from Pokemon.
Yeah.
And you had like all of the apps that were owned by Meta and all of the communication apps that we use pretty much on a daily basis, from WhatsApp to Facebook to Instagram and now Threads, is all owned by one particular individual. That's a scary thought. That is a monopoly.
That's a whole other lie.
Conspiracy theory or anything. Yeah, that's another
Part 2.
lie.
There we go.
But we're talking about Threads. Those are all of my questions for you guys. I want to say thank you very much for answering all of those questions.
I'm wondering in the comments, you guys let us know, is there anything specific you're not liking about Threads? Anything at all? Because I've heard some negative things, but they're kind of like surface level shady right now. Like it's not that like
Yes.
Was this from an account named like Musk Elon, or I mean?